lot of issues that how to start career in IT, and there are different type of candidates that they are facing issue that they want to come into IT. So let's just take an example that already students, they have studied some courses, they have taken some courses in IT. Back home, they have basically completed bachelor's, and then here they have completed post-graduation in diploma. It might be possible that there is a trend nowadays in the market that people who wants to join, like start their career into IT, they are just coming from the non-IT. They have done like MBA. Like I have seen that even doctors like physio, MBBS, because they cannot start their career in their field. It's not easy, and that's the reason that they think that IT field is very easy and lucrative because of different reasons. Let's say salary. In terms of the salary, they feel okay, it's very less work and then more salary. Working from home is another aspect that people are thinking that they want to migrate to IT field. Another thing is like IT to IT, let's say a non-IT to IT. Another category you can say, let's say people who wants to come, like they are already in IT, but they don't know what to do, basically, how to start their career into IT. So they directly completed their 4 years, but they are still facing around that they don't know. Like in IT, there are, it's IT is just a not simple thing. Okay, IT, there are so many different areas that uh, what is the demand in the market. So you need to study, right? So currently in the Canadian market, basically, if you're targeting some roles that if you are putting some efforts, that in which area basically you can target after long gaps. Let's say as we know, like there are lots of students basically because of the PR reason, like for the permanent residency, they initially they started their career in IT, they studied, they completed their career, like whatever the degrees, and then because of the PR they just started their odd jobs like manager in Walmart or maybe Subway and Tim Hortons, and then after a long gap, again they realize that whatever after they get PR, they think that this is not the right choice for them, and they want to come back IT again. So these are the different categories that we are targeting today. That how to come into IT. First of all, what are the different people, what are the different jobs you can target. Like first of all, you need to understand that what are the different roles and responsibilities and different areas in the IT. There are another candidates, like they are already in IT, but they already know what to do. Just take an example. They already know, let's say, I want to become an automation QA, I want to become a DevOps engineer, I want to become a developer, I want to become a cybersecurity analyst specialist, but they don't know how to crack the interview. And they are facing the issue that they don't know how to prepare their resume. They are having an issue with the confidence level. There are some common issues, right? So we'll discuss in the second half, maybe we'll discuss that what are the common issues, that why we are not able to get into the market. Once we are in the market, but we are not able to crack it, we are not able to nail it. So why? Finally, we'll see like there are some candidates, they are basically already past 2 stages, and then in the third stage, they are facing the issue in the interview. That in general we'll discuss. Okay, let's say in interview tips, like what are the things basically we can make sure. This is the general session. Okay, this is not a specific session for developer or DevOps or network engineer. So this session is basically generalized to all the different categories. So we'll discuss about the general problems, and we'll try to see if basically that can help us, and maybe we find a job sooner in our career. So let's move on further. So first we try to understand the ecosystem in the IT. So we'll try to understand what are the different roles and different responsibility of those people, and you will find around you. So in IT also there are different categories. So we are not going to discuss today about the networking side. We'll have a different session for the networking, because cybersecurity, networking, and like in that one, basically we are like we'll showcase you like what is the path A plus, N plus, CCNA, CCNP, CCI. So and cybersecurity. So that completely a different story. So that basically we'll cover in the next upcoming session. But for now, we are focusing on especially in the IT side. not networking side. So different roles and responsibility. Then let's say once you choose, like, okay, I want to basically target this role. Okay, let's say second thing is you have to decide that which role you want to target. But before you target any role, you should know how to target. Okay, like, so we will basically discuss a little bit about preparing for that particular role. So I will help you out to look at that any certification is required. Let's say I want to become a DevOps engineer. That okay, how to become a DevOps engineer. So we look at that, okay, in order to make your career as a DevOps engineer, what is the journey? Okay, so we'll see different journeys, like some sample journeys. Obviously, we might not be able to look at each and every roles in details, but I will take some case studies and I will help you out that maybe you can take this path. So what are the advantage and disadvantage by taking this career path? And then we'll see the insider tips for the interviews and then common issues and tips for success. Okay, so now uh, as basically I go along, like there will be some roles and then some responsibility I'll open up here. So first of all, let's say business. Okay, so what is business? So business is basically a team or a individual person. If it's a small company, then it's a kind of owner is also kind of acting as a business. But if it is a bigger company, then business is one person or a team. They are basically actually selling the product, okay, selling the product in the market, and they will try to generate some revenue. So this is a classic example. We'll try to understand. Let's say bank, RBC, TD, CIBC. So they have different verticals. What are the different verticals? So we all are basically consumers, and we are using daily banking, like checking account, saving account. So this comes under the consumer banking. Then trading, and it might be possible that we have a bank account, but we don't have the trading account. So these are different verticals. Foreign exchange, you might basically don't use CIBC or TD or RBC to send money, like Remitly, we might using different portals, right, to send money overseas. It's business to business, like trade. So ultimately what business is doing, let's say business is trying to sell the product in the market and try to get more customers in, so that at the end of the day, bank or different business, e-commerce, bank or any other business, they will generate the revenue and get the money into the company. So now second role. So second role is comes under BA and PM. So let's look at that. What BA, business analyst and project manager. So business analyst and project manager, basically they are basically bridge between business and technology. So business analyst basically helping. So they will basically try to understand the requirement from the business, and the business analyst will basically elaborate the requirement. They will put the requirement in the form of the wireframes. They will put some diagrams. They will, there are some UI UX designers also. They will basically also contribute to create some UI UX diagrams and then wireframes, so that it's kind of, it's not a working model, but it's kind of prototype. At the same time, project manager is oversee all these different activities, and project manager is helping us basically for the cost and resources perspective. So everything is uh, everything is a cost. Okay, so BA does not basically think about the cost and resources, but project manager also think about the cost and money and resources. So then BA and PM will come. After that, we can see here system architect, system analyst, tech lead. So this different system architect, system analyst, they are technical people. So they know system in and out, and basically they will help to design the system at a technical level. So let's just take an example that BA and PM. So what business analyst will do? Business analyst will say, okay, user is basically going to come on the website. They will buy something. They will put in the cart. They do checkout. They will go to the PayPal and complete the payment. But at the time of the design, the system architect or tech lead, we need to make sure that it is, we know like how we are sending the data, how we are going to get the receive the data, all basically technical terminologies. On top of that, they have to make sure that what is the high level architecture, how different components they are going to connect with each other as a part of the whole system. On top of that, there is a TRS, okay, so technical requirement specification. So as a part of the BAPM, the output would be the BRD. It's a business requirement document. So business requirement document contains the usability perspective, that how user is going to use your application. But when you come to the design, we are putting everything in technical terminologies. That there are two type of design: low level design, high level design. In the low level design, we are going to put all UML diagram, class diagram, sequence diagram. In high level design, we are putting component diagrams. So there are different kind of diagrams. We are going, as a system architect, system tech lead, or sometimes developer also, they contribute there to basically complete the design. So after this, developers will come into the picture. Sometimes they come into the picture before also. Developers will basically do the development. So code basically, okay, so coding. So we'll discuss like what are the different kind of developers are there. So in the developer, maybe we have .NET developers, front-end developers, Java developers. Okay, so there are different tools and different technologies are there. So full stack developer, kind of you can say, in the front end there is a full stack developer, in backend also there is a full stack developer. So I will basically showcase you like what are the different developers categories are exist right now in the IT field. On top of that, we already, this is all self classified, like business analyst is one of the role, project manager is one of the role, system architect, system analyst, tech lead, that is basically on top of the developer. So in order to become a system architect or system analyst or tech lead, first of all you have to become a developer, and then slowly you can progress towards those roles. So we'll look at the hierarchy also. And right hand side you can see the QA. So QA nowadays, as we know, like there are automation QA. Okay, so there are two categories: manual QA and automation QA. But nowadays there are less jobs in the manual QA. So there are, I've been basically dealing with lots of students, lots of candidates every day in my life. I found that everybody wants easy job. Okay, we don't want to put efforts and we want job. Everybody comes and asks every day that, do you have any option that we don't put the efforts and we get the job? Is there any shortcut? But to be honest, you have to come out from that terminology, this methodology, this mindset. There is nothing easy. There is nobody going to spoon feed you. There is no setting. You have to put the efforts. You have to make yourself ready for the next level, and then for that particular job. Now for the QA, it's common. Okay, whenever people wants to come from the non-IT to IT, what they think? Okay, I want to become an automation QA engineer. Nowadays, if you see, there are thousands of people. Whoever you ask, what you are doing? Okay, I want to come into the IT field. I am doing automation QA. Everybody. Okay, but the reason is that, let's say, just think about this whole perspective, whole diagram perspective. Okay, how many BA you need? How many project manager you need in a particular company? Let's think about one project. We need kind of, let's say, bare minimum one BA, one project manager. We might need more developers. We might need one data analyst, one or zero. We might need one or two QAs. Okay, we might need one of support people, application support or DevOps. Sometimes the responsibility of the support and DevOps, developers are doing that responsibility. So we need to understand from the ecosystem of the IT that where is the demand right now. If you see the Toronto market, like our GTA market, the mostly banking. So we need to understand that also. If you go British Columbia side, there is a gaming, e-commerce, right? So different region in across the Canada has a different kind of markets, and based on the market you are targeting, you have to basically prepare yourself. Now let's come back to the QA. As we know, QA, there is no requirement in the market for the manual QA. So we don't have choice. If you want to become a QA, you have to go with automation QA. And QA is involved since the inception, since the BRD is generated. Once developer complete, they will basically kind of convey, inform QA. Basically, QA will basically make sure that all the requirements all the features and functionalities are working according to the requirement. Once they are happy, right? So this is the QA's responsibility, the quality of the product, that whatever the requirements has been given, everything is working as per the expectation. So that is the responsibility of the QA. So lots of students are asking, lots of people are asking, they don't know what is the responsibility exactly these roles they're doing every day in their life from morning. So we need to understand that in order to decide that which career you want to make. After this, we have application support and DevOps. So application support, basically they are supporting the system from behind the scene. Once the application functionalities and features are getting developed, it is deployed as an end user, as we are the end user. We will start using that particular application. Then what happened that up at the time of using this application, if you find some issues, what basically we are doing? We are calling, here is a customer, we are customer. You call customer service. And before that also, application support and DevOps, they will help us to deploy our application on the production. So we have different environments. Nowadays, cloud, okay, cloud is a buzzword. So there are lots of cloud technologies are there. So DevOps engineer, basically we will discuss that you might target basically AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, OpenShift. There are different categories. You might basically appear for the certifications also in the DevOps side. But DevOps and application support are two different categories. Those are not same. So DevOps are basically creating a pipeline and helping us for the environment, like how to basically deploy a particular application on a different environment. And application support, they are supporting L1, L2, L3. So when customer service, basically you call customer service if you have an issue, then if they are not able to find a issue, they will basically raise a ticket, and that ticket will go to the application support. And application support, basically there are different levels, L1, L2, L3, and they according to their level, they will try to solve the issue. And at the end of the day, they will basically inform you back that your issue has been resolved. So now let's move on. So these are other roles. Basically, we are not going to discuss like networking side especially. So network engineer, cybersecurity analyst, security engineer. So there are some security roles are there. So these are the additional roles. Technical writers, information analyst, network administrator. Without that also IT company doesn't work. Okay, so those roles are also equally important as these other developers and QA, those IT roles. Okay, so those roles basically in details we'll discuss in the next upcoming sessions, that how we can basically target those security side and networking side. So now, let's say now we know that these are the different roles there in the IT. After understanding in deep that, okay, you might think, okay, I'm better suitable for the QA. Some people might think, okay, you are better suitable for the developer. Some people might think that I want to target DevOps. But we need to understand how. First thing is you have to first understand that which role you want to target. Out of these all the different roles, you have to choose which role you want to target. So after you decide, we need to understand in order to become project manager, how. So we are trying to explain you, we are trying to give you some certification details that you can basically do PMP, let's say project manager PMP certification. If you want to become a Scrum Master, there is another role, then you can do Scrum certified, sort of some Scrum certifications. Then you can basically apply for the job for the Scrum Master in IT organization. But for to target these roles, you must have some experience. Okay, so once you are basically in any field, banking, IT, this is not only project manager is not only for IT. You can go in any sector. But in order to become a project manager, you have to have some functionality of some domain knowledge. Okay, and some of the certification, how you are going to manage the resources, how you are going to manage the cost, and all these basic things. So this certification will help you out to gain this knowledge. So this is project manager, then business analyst. So what exactly you can do? Let's say if I want to become a business analyst. So business analyst is basically nowadays not only a only documentation role. So when you ask anyone, everybody thinks, okay, business analyst, what they do, business, what are they doing basically? You always think they are just create some nice and fancy documents. They're just creating the PowerPoint presentation, but that's not the reality nowadays. There are some technical things nowadays business analyst has to do. They should know database, they should know APIs. So business analyst role is nowadays becoming little bit technical, not 100%, but is getting little bit technical too. If you don't have little technical knowledge or domain knowledge, you cannot become business analyst. You can basically gain some knowledge, and there are some certification also. So these are the different certification: IIBA, entry certification, this is entry level certification, this is issuing authority. Okay, so you can basically target different business analyst certification. Why its certification is required? That is not, these certifications are not 100% mandatory. The reason we are recommending that you appear for the certification is that when we prepared your resume, when you prepared your resume, if you put your certification, that give you more weightage to your resume. So when you apply for a job, when they are trying to shortlist some resume out of 1,000 resumes they are getting, they will put a weightage on the people or the candidates who has the certifications, specialization in that particular area. So certification always helps. Certification does not mandatory, but certification always help us to get to the interview. Okay. If you have a certification and other person does not have the certificates, that doesn't mean that you are going to select in that particular position. If you don't have knowledge, if you cannot perform in the interview, even though you have a certificate, nobody will hire you. Okay. But that is for sure that if you are appearing in the certificate exams, definitely you have some knowledge than others in that area. Now let's look at the development side. Front-end developer, mean and one. So in front-end developer, we have, you can see like Mongo, Express, Angular, and Node.js. Side we have React. So only difference is A and R. So there are two basically technologies are very booming nowadays. If you want to start your career in the front-end developer, Angular and React. So if you want to target front-end developer, yes, obviously there is a coding. You should know database. You should know like all different APIs, all different technologies. So front-end developer has to do code. Okay, but these are the two main stack you can target. On top of that, there are some certifications also. Maybe you can target some of the certification. It's not mandatory at all, but that will help you out. So we'll share this PPT if you want to get more insight. I'm not going to go and look at all these certification details, but we'll share this PPT. So at that time, you can look at this. Then full stack developer or backend developers. So either you can target .NET full stack developer, Java full stack developer. In front end also there is a full stack developer. Backend is considered as a node. So in PHP you can go Python. Okay, so there are different technologies. So we are not dependent on any technologies. So if you know one language, how to write a code, it's very easy for us to write a code in any other language in this world. There are different certification, Oracle certification, Microsoft certifications. If you are going for .NET technology stack, you can go with Microsoft certifications. If you are going with Java, you can go Oracle certifications. You go with some advanced certifications, let's say big data, Hadoop, Spring, AWS, solution architect, that is DevOps side, but we are mentioning as a part of the developer also, because sometimes as a developer, if you are gain AWS or Azure certificate, that will help you out in order to shortlist and perform your duties well at work. Finally, QA. So in the QA side, ISTQB, advanced level. Nowadays, obviously, it's automation is required. So you can target ISTQB or automation certifications. But I would recommend that if you want to become an automation QA engineer, target some of the cloud certification also at the same time. So if you have cloud certifications as well as the QA certifications that combine together, that will help you out to get more interviews. Nowadays, to get the interviews, it's a biggest challenge because everybody has there in the mind that okay, nowadays the recession is going on. There are a lot of layoff is going on, firing, right? So every other day, we are having news that okay, some or other students or people, friends, family members have been fired from these companies. Amazon has fired 15%. All Google, all other companies have fired 10 to 20% of their strength. Facebook. So what does it mean? Is this the right time to come into IT? We are thinking that if there is a recession going on in the IT, then why should we come into IT? See, this is a cycle. It might be possible there are a couple of months, there are recession, there are firing, but at the same time, there is hiring. So what happened in the Corona time that we are in the winning side, that we ask company that, okay, I need $150 per hour. I need 200,000 salary. So company was in the back foot side and they were giving a lot of salary. But now it's reverse. Now it's their turn. What they are doing, they are firing people who they think that they have given overpaid, over salaries, and they are hiring with the appropriate salary. So this recession, if you see our Canadian market data, it's not saying that there is no job in the market. There are jobs in the market. So what does it mean? They are firing also. The people who get fired from the job, they are getting job also with a lower scale. Okay. So you don't to worry that if we are trying to get into the IT field now, is this the right time? Time change. Okay. This is not the constant. Time is not constant. This situation is not constant. After 1 month, 2 months, you will see the situation other side. Everything will be normal. And then again, software company, they will start hiring a lot of people. So you don't need to worry about that part. DevOps side, yes, in the DevOps side, certifications are mandatory. If you want to target, if you want to become a DevOps engineer, without the AWS, Azure, or any other cloud certification, Docker, Kubernetes, without those certification, it's very tough to get into the market. So if you want to target DevOps, 110%, you have to appear for the exams in the certifications. You cannot escape. This is the some of the surveys. Okay, so obviously doctors are getting more salary in Canada. Okay, as compared to software engineers, but we have a myth in our mind that software engineers are very high paid. But only reason is that since the day one we came into Canada or back home, we think, okay, I want to become a software engineer. I want to go into IT. But that's not only field in this world. Okay. You can target lawyer, you can be surgeon, doctors, human resource. Okay. So if you do good in those area also, you will get more salary. At the end of the day, satisfaction and salary, those are the two things matter to us. So yes, definitely this seminar is around how to find your career future in IT, but I'm not stick only that you should create your career in IT. There are so many other fields. They have certifications, specializations. If you do that, also you will get high paid salaries there too. These are the different theories. Okay, I'm not going to go through this thing that whatever I was explaining, something is written here that what front-end developer is doing, what UI UX doing, what business analyst is doing, what developer is going to do. So some of the classifications. So if you want to read it, if you want to take some decision that which role you want to target, then we'll share this PPT with you and then you can decide. Another important aspect that there are a lot of people might ask you or like they might think, I don't have any experience. How can I basically get to the job? This is the common questions I hear from everyone. So there are few solutions to it. Usually, first of all, you have to gain knowledge. Okay, knowledge is everything. First of all, you have to make your level from here to here. So if you increase your level, like you have more experience, and then try to find out some volunteer work. So if you try to find out some internship, co or some volunteership work, you will gain some experience. And then you can use that experience in your resume in order to get the job. Okay. So if you are thinking that I don't know how to basically put the experience, how to gain the experience in your resume, then increase your, first of all, gain the knowledge, do some work, volunteer or internship or co-op, put that experience and try to find out the job. What are the common issues? Let's say now we know, let's say after this one stage, you know that, okay, I want to target this role. Second stage, you have decided that you are going to target this role, you prepared for that role. But after this, you are going to face these issues. First and foremost important item is that resume preparations. Okay, so you don't know how to prepare your resume. So we are not coming out, let's say after we migrate to Canada, we are all migrants, immigrants. So we are basically always think about, okay, I need some fancy, nice photographs in the resumes. So we have some Canadian standard for the resume preparations. So we should know, right, that how to write a well Canadian standard resume. I'm not going to go in details that what is the standard because this is not a resume preparation session. So how to write it, but we'll, if required, we'll set up that session for the resume writing also. That might help you out to how to write a resume. But that is the first important. So do some research online that how to, what is the Canadian standard, get some sample resume from the Indeed, LinkedIn, and see like what is the standard, and then start preparing your resume. Nowadays, it's automation. Okay, automation means when you submit a resume, there is, it's not a physical intervention, that nobody shortlists your resume by checking physically all the terms and keywords. So keywords are very important. So it's bifurcated. It's studied by the machine, by the software, that if your resume is matching our requirement or not. So keyword study. So we need to make sure that whenever we are applying jobs, our resumes has the proper keywords. Okay, so we need to understand these keyword terminologies, that sometimes you can change your resume according to the job requirement, so that there is a high chance that your resumes will get shortlisted and you will get the interview calls. That is the uh, trick you can use whenever you are applying for jobs. Lack of confidence. The lack of confidence because we are not prepared for that. We did not put the efforts, and we are not ready to put the efforts. If you put the efforts, if you do proper practice, definitely you will have a confidence. But we need everything for free, and that's why we never gain the confidence. So we need to make sure that in order to gain the confidence, we need to put more efforts in any of this role. Whatever is required, do more practicals, and then you will get more confidence. Next, fear of interviews. What happened if I will not select in the interview? What happened? There are 5 people sitting in front of me. What happened if 5 people will start rapid fire on me? Tell me what is going to happen? Nothing. If you are not going to perform well, you are not going to get selected, but you will learn something new. You will come to know that next time if I will face the same situation, how can you come out from this situation? So we need to make sure that fear is always dangerous. You have to come out from the fear. Fear is not going to help. Okay. So fear of interview, just think you are not losing anything. You just need to think, are you losing anything? No. That means no fear. Next, if you don't know the answer, you are appearing in the interview. So many times it might be happen, you don't know some answers of interviewers. You have to be very honest in the interview. That okay, I don't know because I never came across this scenario or this kind of situation, but I can learn, I can improve myself. So whenever you appear in the interview, you need to be positive. If you're confident, you're positive. I have seen a lot of people I have hired if they're confident. I was taking one interview like 3, 4, 5 years back. I asked a couple of people. I told that person share your screen, and then I told that person to write down some code. That person told me that, hey, actually, I know how to write a code, but I'm not syntax oriented people, syntax person. He was honest, he was transparent. I have hired him, and I never had a regret. So, like the confidence, the more confidence you are giving to the interviewer, that your approach, okay, is see this. Just take an example. Let's say you have very good knowledge, but your approach is not good. You are negative. If I tell you to do something as a manager or as your mentor, if I tell you to do something, you always do negative. You put negativity in the team. Your approach is not positive. You are not helping in the team members. Tell me, what does your knowledge help us? Should I hire you? So as an interviewer, we are not always thinking that what you don't know. Interview is all about what you know and what is your approach all about. Your approach is very important for us. When we hire people, we see the approach. If you are trainable, we can train you. But if you're not trainable, useless. If I cannot train you, what is the output you are going to give me? Because you don't have approach to listen. You don't have approach. You don't have approach to set your goal according to your company, according to your project manager. You have to align your goals. If your goal is different than where you work, there is no value you are adding. Fear of criticism. Let's say you always think that I am trying to come into IT field. It's 5 months, 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, but I am not getting the jobs. People are laughing on me. People are talking about me. That's why you are criticism, right? People are criticize you, and then you don't like. You have fear that if I'll tell you something that okay, I want to change my career, but I fail. I'm not able to get a job. You don't need to worry about that. Just focus on your goals. Sometimes it might take 1 month, sometimes it take 2 months, sometimes it takes 6 months, sometimes it take 1 year, sometimes it take years. It depends on how much energy you are putting, how much energy you are concentrating in one place. It depends on the amount and the need. If you think, okay, I want to become an IT person within next 6 months, nobody can stop you. But you have to have a plan. You have to set your goals. Now, some of the insider tips. Now, let's say you come off all these things, you started appearing in the interviews, and then what kind of behavior questions might come? So let's try to look at. I'm not going to go details. We'll share this document with you. This might help you out. So after Corona, it might be possible that you might face the face-to-face interviews. Not all the interviews are online nowadays. So dress, okay. Even though if you're appearing the online interviews in over the Zoom, wear the suit. Let people laugh on you. If you're going appearing for the interviews in person, if you wear the suits, your attire is formal. Nowadays, I see like a lot of people in a lot of IT companies, there is no trend to wear the formals. But when you are appearing for the interviews, I do recommend, because your impression, first impression is the last impression. So if you make your footprints, then definitely there are high chances that because of your behavior, because of your positiveness, because of your attire, that person has a positive vibes on you. Okay, that is a possible thing. These are STAR methods: prepared, situation, task, action, and result. So I will share this because I don't want to go into the details about this whole thing. So you can just go through, tell me about yourself. These are all non-technical questions. You have to prepare your stories according to the roles you are target. If you have any questions, maybe definitely you can post us, you can email us. We will definitely try to help you out to come out from the situation.